Hi guys, this is James from Enter Motorsport, and you join me for my Anglesey 24 edit. A really special race weekend, my first bit of night racing in my 6 seasons of racing, and this is race 1. So it's a 4 race format over Saturday and Sunday. 1 race lunchtime Saturday, 1 early evening, 2 in the morning on Sunday, and then the final race at 8:30 the following day. 40 minutes each, so normal race distance for a CSCC Tin Tops race, but 4 to get through. And this was race 1, starting P12 on the grid. Fairly relaxed start compared to a usual Tin Tops race, and we're mixed in with the turbo Tin Tops as well on this weekend. And you can see I've got one of the pretty nippy Fiat 500 Abarths behind me, and one of the Mini Coopers. Plenty of grunt in a straight line, lots of acceleration, but I'm right in the middle of some turbo Tin Tops here. And yeah, just getting myself into this first lap of a long race weekend. Beautiful scenery at Anglesey. This was my first ever visit to the circuit, and you can see as you go through, well, part of the corkscrew there onto the loop of the international circuit. One of the Marson Fiat 500s trying to get past, so sending him to the outside, trying to make it a little bit difficult for him at least. But I know he's going to be coming at me on the exit of this hairpin. But I've actually got a bit of a run on the Clio as well, so I'm trying to box in that 500, so he's got nowhere to go, so he has to back out of it going into the final corner of the first lap. This was the second lap later, so I managed to hold off the 500 for another lap, but then something goes wrong. If you look in the rearview mirror, he starts to break down, so that is that race over and done with. So yeah, just need to get my head down and try and get some clean laps in and get my first result on the board. So this is the first scheduled pit stop. Very tight pit lane entry here, and it's a 50 kph pit lane as well. Loads of lock to actually get into the left part around the pit wall, around the tyre wall, and yeah, just cruising in for a 1:30 pit stop. Car feels like it's running okay at this point, so yeah, all normal up to this point, and back out on the circuit we go. But I start to develop some pretty severe vibrations that seem to be getting worse per lap, particularly on the far section at the back of the circuit. So I actually bring it in a few laps later. I just wanted the car checked over really. 3.5 races still to go in the weekend, and I just wanted the hubs checked, wanted the brake calipers checked.
I don't know if it's these studs or the hubs or something, but it's getting more. The vibration is building up.
So yeah, we take our time. We nick one of the I think it's Adam Brown's Cruise jack, check all 4 wheels. The guys can't find anything, so it could just be tyre pickup. It could just be the nature of the circuit. But yeah, I wanted to check. But 3 minutes lost in that unscheduled pit stop. Lap times were in the 1:40s, so nearly 2 laps lost out there. And yeah, did my best to come back, and yeah, just trying to see what cars I can catch back up with, but I'm already at a bit of a disadvantage for that unscheduled pit stop. Here's one of the other Clios in B2, so trying to make up some ground on my class competition. Down the Tom Price named straight, down into the hairpin. This is out on the international layout. Was a bit disappointing not to be able to use the coastal layout, which I've heard is very good. So yeah, P19 at the end of the first 40-minute race, and lots of work to do. So here we go, race 1B, the second race of the event, and it's early evening, sunshine is out, and P19 on the grid after the disappointing first result. So quite near the back of the grid, mixed in with a few other cars that had issues in that first race. So again, there's one of the Marson Fiat 500s trying to make some ground up early on in the race. And yeah, I've got it all to do in these next 3 races, but yeah, just need to keep my nose clean, bide my time, and just make up as much ground in this race as possible to get myself back in the game in the class of B2, of which that is one of the cars up ahead. So try and get past him as soon as possible. You can see one of the 500s there trying to make up some ground into Rocket in, tightest corner on the track, and then Rocket out. So mixed in with some of the Puma Cup boys here as well. Try and get through those as cleanly as possible. Not happening there, so we'll wait for the next straight to blast past. Really had to hold back on some of these moves. It would have been so easy just to push too hard too soon and, you know, bash one of the wings or something, and just completely unworth it with all the racing left to do over the weekend. So yeah, just taking my chances as they come up and making progress. Getting past another Mini Cooper. This is the Fiat 500 of Fat Moose. Made me laugh every time I saw that on the back of that one. Here's one of the Alphas from Tin Tops. So get past these guys. As ever, my car running very well on the brakes. No brake fade, no braking issues with this car. It's absolutely bang on every braking zone. So this is my competition for B2. This is the black Clio of 155, I believe, and yeah, this is the one that I'm a couple of laps down on at this point. So yeah, need to overtake and get some laps back on it. Just hold it on the apex there and get a good exit. Keep it clean through coastal and then fire out onto the straight. Good exit. Now this was a great battle. This is the Steve Papworth Fiesta ST, the Odell ST, and we've had some good battles over the years, so I was very pleased to find him out on circuit, and I knew he'd give me a good run for my money. Good driver, well set up car, well matched car to the 206. So this was a good bit of the weekend. It's quick through there, and you need to be using all the track there, so I lost a little bit of ground, but just keeping the foot in there. Nicely done. But went a bit wide in the braking zone, but it's okay. Wide through Rocket in, you can block the apex on Rocket out. Again, just holding it on the apex there to get past the Mini. So, scheduled pit stop time. Car's been running well again. Not too worried about the vibrations anymore.
Good, got it. Going well. Doing very well. Picking up places, mate. Well done.
Quick pep talk from the dad. Gary waving me out, and we are away. Need a good second stint to, again, find some time. Trying to nick a lap back on the other black Clio here. Now, my mistake, I completely underfueled the car based on I don't know where this went wrong, but I had to cruise for the last 9 minutes of the race and ended up with a couple of litres of fuel in the car. A near disaster averted. So P12 at the flag, made some gains, but lots of work to do for my first ever night race, which I didn't manage to record on my GoPro, my fault. So there's a bit of live footage here, and they managed to capture our pit stop, which was great. Scrutineers told us to switch off our LEDs before the race, and I spent the first half of the race absolutely fuming. So when I came to the pits, I told Gary to switch them back on. There they are. And the car looked absolutely mega for the second stint, so I'm glad I pursued that. Gary doing a bit of a funky chicken, sending us back out. And yeah, it was a really good race. I was running in the top 5, top 3, top 4 at one point. There's me coming around the second corner. Only bit of notable action, which is on Blair's camera here, is going for a move down the outside. Enter stage right, exit stage right. Yeah, didn't come off, so I had to get back on the track. But yeah, finished P4, night rider. Really enjoyed it. Put in some really good lap times, and yeah, put me on the grid P4 for the final race, which would decide where I came in the B2 class. So race 2B, we've had a couple of hours sleep between 4 and 6 AM, but we're back at the track now, and we are gearing up for the final race of the Anglesey 24 rolling start on the second row of the grid with some very quick drivers here. Manoj Patel, Blair, and the turbo tin top of the Seat Leon, and we're off. So punching above my weight with these guys, I think. Got a couple of the fast Fiat 500s that have worked their way back to the front of the grid. And here we go, final race of the day. And they're all squabbling amongst themselves, and I'm trying to keep up. I know that I need a good race here. I'm still potentially a lap behind the B2 leader, so I have to make up some ground in this race. But those guys at the front are just too quick. Okay on the brakes whilst they hold each other up. Good to see some good close racing there. No holding back with only 40 minutes of the whole event to go. Not too bad in the corners and the braking zones. It just stretches out a little bit on the straights. Still just about holding on. And there I can see the competition coming down the straight on the right hand side. I know that I need to make some laps back, so I just need the cleanest race. 40 minutes of qualifying laps and that wasn't any good. Completely missed my gear going into the final corner, so that's put me under pressure from another Marson Fiat 500. Send him to the outside, but he'll have the inside line for the banking hairpin turn 2. He's there somewhere. He's going to power out of the corner. There he goes. Inside line for turn 3. And this starts actually a pretty good battle in this race. I really thought he might clear off, but again, able to hold my own on some of the tighter, twistier parts of the circuit. Don't really have an answer for him on the straights, but yeah, very able to hold on to him into rocket in and rocket out, but just not enough on the overall lap time to mount a challenge. But good to have a target ahead of you that's just going to get you down the road a lot quicker. It's amazing, despite only a couple of hours sleep, that is so far from your mind when you're actually in the car. Still very focused, still very alert. It's only when the racing was finished and we were driving home that afternoon, it all kind of kicked back in. But yeah, it's amazing what adrenaline does and the excitement of racing itself. So it looks like he's pulling away there and it's kind of game over, but it does come back to me a little bit. It kind of ebbs and flows over the laps. So this would have been another lap or so later, and I'm still kind of there on the tail. Very good on the brakes. Nearly didn't downshift correctly there. The other fact is, of course, very in terms of tyres, people's tyres are starting to go after 4 races. Everyone had different amounts of new tyres, different brands of tyres, so yeah, there's going to be some real differences in grip levels of who's got what left. Mine were in pretty good condition for this final race after throwing a new set of tyres at it for the night race. Here comes Andrew Windmill, recovering after breaking down in, I believe, race 1B, the second race, and not taking the night race. So yeah, he comes steaming through. Again, another couple of laps later, still staring at the back of this 500, unable to get past, but still just about there. But we'll be coming up to the scheduled pit stop soon. I'm just focusing on lap time. I don't really want to get into a massive squabble with anyone. I just need to ebb out as much time as I can to have a chance in B2. So headlights are going on now to give the guys on the pit wall the signal that we will be in on the next lap. Our pit stops have been really good throughout the event. We've been in the 1 minute 31-32 range, so only 1 to 2 seconds over what is the minimum time that you have to spend in the pit lane. So here is my scheduled pit stop, final one of the event. Huge thank you to Gary and Dad for all the effort they put in over the weekend. It was a busy one in terms of work that we needed to do on the car itself. We were blowing fuses on Friday and Saturday morning. The extra work that was needed for the lights for the night race, and just brake pads, swapping wheels, it was kind of non-stop for them. So really appreciate everything they did, and yeah, it was a good team effort. So back out on the circuit, And here is a brand new tin top battle for you. Here comes Sean Ely in his 205, who was taken over from Blair in the 2-car team. And I know I'm going to have my work cut out here. And what becomes apparent is our cars are quite suited to different parts of the circuit, different strengths and weaknesses between the 206 and the 205, but it's a good battle nonetheless. I'm just getting absolutely stalked at this point. Doesn't help that there's a bit of traffic here, so not quite the optimal exits from the corners. So just showing him, just hovering in the middle of the circuit. Again, good acceleration out the hairpin. I think he's going to be on me going into this final corner. So I'm blocked by the Fiesta back onto the racing line. And he has got an awesome exit off that final corner, so just have to send him to the outside and hope for the best. He slots back in. Hold the inside, send him to the outside. But I know I could be in some trouble on this exit. He's taken a great line through there. He's got the run on me. And I'm off the racing line onto the marbles, have to lift, and he's through. Good move. I don't give up, hoping there's some opportunities through the traffic. So there's one of my B2 rivals, so another lap gain there. So we're still carving our way through the traffic, through some Pumas. There's the KA, but yeah, he's worked the traffic very, very well there. So dropping back a little bit from Sean. It was a good battle for a few laps, but yeah, unable to get back on terms, unfortunately. So thinking back to my race now, the race for B2, Sean's not in that, he's in a different class. So yeah, I just need to try and find where my other B2 rivals are out on track and keep the qualifying laps going and see where we end up after the full 40-minute race of the weekend. Catching up with another one of the 206s. And here is the 155 that I've been looking out for on circuit the entire race, as I was a lap behind going into this final race. So I knew I had to get a lap back on these guys. One of them only in his first race did an incredible drive to get through 4 races with a fairly newly built car as well, but putting a move into turn 3, getting it done and making sure I build up a bit of a gap, and in my head I feel like I've done enough. That should be enough for the honours in B2. But you never know. Very difficult to kind of figure all the combined results out when you're out there. So I'm going to push on and try and build up as much of a gap as possible. And that was it. That was the final lap, and we made it. The car made it, I made it, the team made it, and we came P1 in B2, P3 overall in tin tops. and I'm absolutely over the moon with how that weekend went. We had such a massive challenge after that first pit stop, but we came back and got the class win. Couldn't have asked for any more. Really enjoyed it. Big thanks to CSCC for putting on a fantastic weekend, all the marshals, all your organisers. Really hope to do some more night racing in the future. I've kept the setup all ready to go, and that's it. Back to normal race weekends. Coming up with Donington this weekend on August the 5th, so stay tuned and thanks for watching.